Alright, we are going to be going into Game 2 in our Masters bracket against, with our red Zerg in the bottom right, Caman, and on the top left we have our teal Protoss, Arbiter. There's going to be a PVZ. These are two people that are not in our clan but have signed up for our tournament, and they are awesome, awesome people. We do have a little bit of info. We have shout out to Evertrust for being a boss, and that he's never alone. Arbiter saving my ego for making me feel not quite so alone in my room yelling into a microphone. Do have a bit of info about these players. Caman is actually from Atlanta, Georgia, and he does love his burrowed infestors. What he's doing when he's not playing StarCraft: playing music, hanging out with his wife, or working as a QA engineer for a software company. That I have actually done QA work in the gaming industry. QA work is a pretty thankless job. Don't get paid much, but oh, it is so important. I'm actually a programmer myself. I rely on our QA to catch all the things that I do that are very, very dumb, and believe me, there are many of them. Alright, we are also going to find Arbiter real quick. Again, I had him up here just briefly. No, Arbiter, where have you gone? We are going to find you in this beautiful, beautiful spreadsheet that has come up. Fortunately, both players have not really done anything too out of the ordinary. There are no 6 pools going down, so that gives me time to say a lot of things and just keep going until I actually find Arbiter. Who was right here? Where is he? I have him on the spreadsheet, I swear. Where are you, Arbiter? Arbiter, 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 Arbiter. I know where you are. I'm going to sing because I have a beautiful voice. I have a terrible singing voice. That's okay. Here we go. Excuse me. Alright. Arbiter from New England. Not entirely specific. I did grow up in New England, however. I grew up in Connecticut. Beautiful, beautiful place, but I don't really miss it for various reasons. So much nicer out here in the desert in Vegas. Just going to throw that out there. Does enjoy chess and tennis in his off time. Chess is basically the newbie version of StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 obviously much superior to that silly game called chess. And we do see a wall-off up here for Arbiter. Arbiter is actually doing something a little unstandard. Going for this wall-off up here instead of going for that Forge Fast Expand that we see in pretty much every PvZ, so there is going to be some early pressure coming in from our Protoss player. He's going to need to do some early damage of some sort in order to actually justify this early investment into Gateway rather than an expansion. Zerg is going to scout this out, but he will scout this out last. So you will see this and start to wonder, why is there not an expansion over here in the natural? And oh, the Zealot! Zealot, you had one job! And that was to hold position. Zealot has gotten out of position. The Zerg will see that there are 2 gases up. This is huge. A Robo going down. He will see the Robo. This is absolutely huge. Protoss is doing something very unusual here. Very, very interesting to see what he has in store and how Caman can actually respond to this. He is getting his gas up. Likely going to see speed, Zergling speed, kind of the catch-all answer to any sort of early game shenanigans. Get that early map control, get vision, so you have more time to prepare, especially on this long, long map that you have this huge rush distance that's completely cross-spawn. And there it is, there's that Zergling speed. Might even see a Roach Warren as well. But with that Robo, likely going to see Immortals, so Roach is probably not the best idea. This drone's still scouting around, seeing so much that he really should not have a chance to see. A Forge coming down as well. This is a very strange build. I have not seen this before from a Protoss player. So we have a Forge, a Robo, and a Gateway all on one base. Very interesting indeed. That Sentry is out. Observer out. We'll be able to see plenty of stuff. Immortal coming out as well. So likely not going to see Roaches if the Zerg catches wind of that. Lots of Speedlings will help out. This could be a very strange little sort of Sentry Immortal one base, but I haven't really seen that before, and I'm not sure how effective it will be. But he does have 2 sentries. And all that extra gas does have to go somewhere. Also, that plus 1 attack, so important. I say this every time, but I'm going to keep saying it every time. That plus 1 attack, a Zealot will take a Zergling out in 3 hits if they have equal upgrades. But with that plus 1 attack, it takes 2 hits against the Zergling. So Zealots will basically become 50% more powerful against Zerglings with that plus 1 attack. It's such an important upgrade, possibly the most important upgrade in the entire game, just because of that significance. Lots of Zerglings here. We'll scout out. Again, see there is no expansion coming up. We'll poke up, see what he can find. Oh, that was a little bit dicey because he could have been force fielded in and trapped Could have caught a lot of those Zerglings. Would rather see just one Zergling coming up to give a little poke. Lots more Zerglings on the way. I don't think there's any other tech behind this, though. There is not. The observer will see that there is no Roach Warren, no Baneling Nest, no Lair on the way, and likely has seen that there is. Oh, but there is a third on the way now, so he is going to try and expand behind this. And he will come up and see there. A sentry does go down, and these Immortals are spotted, so he does know what's coming. Killing those sentries is so important. You need to get rid of all that force field energy to make those lings actually worthwhile. 20 more lings on the way. This push, I don't think is going to do much damage. The longer he waits, the more ahead that these two bases of Caman are actually going to get. With the 31 drones, the 28 probes, and the saturation on two bases instead of one, that is so much more income for our Zerg player. Big push coming out now with these 3 Immortals and these 2 sentries, a handful of Zealots. Could use a few more Zealots, especially with that +1 attack. That is really the strength of that +1 attack, is on those Zealots against those Zerglings. And he's seen so many Zerglings, he knows that's basically what he is up against. But he's pulling back again, and this is really just, it's a time bomb for the Protoss player. He needs to do something to actually justify having spent all this money on all these units. More Immortals coming out. 3 sentries, though, that is not going to be enough force fields. If the Zerg can actually get into the middle and start drawing out force fields while this force is trying to move across the map, it will have none once it actually gets to the Zerg base. And he will see this very shortly. He does have the Zelnaga Tower. We'll see what kind of reaction he does get for this. Both players playing at, wow, okay. Zerg playing at quite a bit higher of the APM. Alright, he has moved to the middle now, but there are so many Zerglings, and he is building more Zerglings. 18 Zerglings on the way, Lair is on the way, another base is on the way, a macro hatch. So he will not have no shortage of Zerglings whatsoever. And still no base up here, and he will see that with that beautifully placed Overlord up in the top. This Overlord here will be able to scout later. What else does the Protoss have? He's still building Immortals, so many Immortals, and +1 armor is now on the way as well. Will help this push a little bit. Warp Prism to help reinforce. Definitely like that. Oh, but the Zergling counterattack. Does he have an actual wall set up? Yes, he does. He does have that Zealot on hold position. That is what he needed, and he will have a nasty push for this third. There's no saturation on this third yet. Oh, but he needs to hit those force fields, and he does not have enough energy. It looks like to hit many force fields, he has to use them very wisely, and the Zealots are getting surrounded, but they are cutting through those Zerglings with that +1 attack. And it looks like that is just enough to actually push back those Zealots, those Zerglings. He will be able to take out this third, and his push is at least a success in that regard. But what can he follow it up with? Can he actually go in and push up here? I would love to see some Spine Crawlers up here to help hold off any sort of push, but oh, it is still coming. This brutal one-base play from the Protoss. I've not seen this since very early in Wings of Liberty, and he actually might be able to make this work. All those Immortals are just destroying buildings. They would be destroying Spine Crawlers if they existed. And they would be destroying roaches that would be helping against the Zealots. This is a surprisingly brutal little push. Would love to see some Spine Crawlers up there, especially with the Queen's Transfuse. The Lings do need to get a very good surround. I don't know if there's much left in the realm of force fields. There are a few force fields going down. Not enough Zerglings to take out the Zealots. The Zealots, some of them low on health, but all those Immortals still stand. The drones being pulled out now. He has not reacted well enough to this push. A Zergling counterattack going up now into the natural, but he will find nothing at all. There is no natural going up, just an Immortal and a Zealot to hold off any sort of counter pressure. The natural does go down, and this might actually work. I did not actually think this would work as well as it did, but man, this is just absolutely brutal. A Spire is coming up. It might be somewhat of the saving grace because, again, the Protoss is on that one base. So the Zerg can hold on just a little bit longer, but I'm not sure if he has the time. Some Spine Crawlers are going up. He needs to buy time for those Spine Crawlers, and Spine Crawlers are going down before they're even finishing. Lots of Lings coming up, waiting for his partner to get up into his main. All of them attacking the Immortals, but the Immortals just not quite dying in time, taking out all those Spine Crawlers just before they pop. One Spine Crawler will get 1 shot off, 2 shots off, and 3 shots off before it is 4 shots. Alright, it is now taken down. 8 Mutalisks on the way, but all the drones are running by, and they will get stopped. A force field on the ramp just in time to stop those drones. The drones will be trapped and absolutely slaughtered. There's not much left for our Zerg player. 90 supply to 25 for our Zerg. What can he do? All the Mutalisks are out, but there are just enough Stalkers. They might be able to take this out. The Mutalisks need to go off, but no, that is the GG victory for NEFN's Arbiter in this Game 2 of our Masters bracket.